let's do analysis of the Biden speech. So Joe Biden just spoke, and there were some great parts of the speech and some, mediocre and troubling parts of the speech, in my opinion. Curious to get your guys' take on it. First of all, of course, most interesting thing to note is that his middle name is Robinette. So we just discovered that. Okay, perhaps we might have discovered it earlier, but it is fun to note. Robinette. So Corn Pop and Robinette battling is a fun battle from the old days. Anyways, now on to the good stuff. Look, guys, we're back in the Paris Accords. Is it enough? Not nearly, right? But is it a good thing? Yes, yes, we have rejoined the world. It's a great thing. We are going to do more to try to battle climate change. That's a great thing. So when I see that, when I see a president acknowledging white supremacy, it's just a relief. We've been lied to and gaslit for so long. And so to have a president go, is there white supremacy still in this country? Of course, right? Is at least a moment of like, we're back to planet Earth and back to the realities of the actual America. And it doesn't mean that you should give up on America. It just means we fight harder and we work harder to get to a better place. So the fact that we're doing that is wonderful. And when he said joy, he quoted scripture and said, "Joy cometh in the morning." Well, that I could definitely relate to, because this morning where Donald Trump is no longer president, joy has cometh. Okay, so no question about that. But when he talks about unity, you know my feelings about that. It's not realistic. I like that he's saying it, and I know that people elected him to be a healer of the country. That's what he ran on, and a unifier. But let's be honest, they mainly elected him because he wasn't Donald J. Trump. And I don't know that that's a nod to unity so much. I know he ran on unity, but he might have gotten elected on the opposite, on the fact that you are not him. That's not really unifying. And so to me, unity honestly doesn't make much sense, just logically. And if you're a person who grew up on New York Times, NPR, and CNN, you're rebelling at that thought. You hate this. You're almost turning out now. I was told, brainwashed into believing that unity for unity's sake is awesome, always wonderful. But I gotta ask you this simple logical question: who are we unifying with, and to what end? So if you say let's unify with racists, well, we kind of did when we reunified after the Civil War. We're kind of doing it now. Okay, it's a tough pill to swallow, but okay. But what are we unifying towards? If you say, well, we're reunifying with racists, but so that we can get to this wonderful goal of more tax cuts for the rich. No. I don't agree, and I will not unify over absurdities. I will not unify over things I do not agree with, right? But if you say we're unifying so that we can actually get to equality and justice for all, and I'm going to prove that in my policies, then great, I love it. And I can't wait for it, brother. So we welcome joy in the morning with open arms, and we look forward to the wonderful things that Joe Biden can do, but not blindly. Hope is here, but it is not blind. So we will hold Joe Biden accountable, including this very first speech of his, and he said we are going to end this uncivil war, and it's a nice note, and I'm glad he said it, but it's not really true. Our job is to tell you what's true. This uncivil war is not remotely over. Donald Trump leaves as the least popular president in American history, but he also leaves as the most popular among Republican voters. More popular than Reagan, more popular than Eisenhower. So our division continues. He made a great nod to truth and that truth matters. And he had a really good line about how we have to get beyond the lies for power and profit. But the reality is the establishment also has lies for power and profit. like the lie that we can't afford healthcare for everyone, like every other developed nation in the world, that we cannot afford it in the middle of a pandemic. It is not true. It is a lie that honestly helped Joe Biden get elected. It was a lie given to us by the mainstream media, including the CNNs of the world. So while we banish the lies of the right wing and Donald Trump, let us not be seduced by the lies of the establishment that are for their profit and power. All right, I have more, but let me kick it over to John and Ida. So John, your thoughts on the speech?
I have, yeah. Look, I would generally say I mostly agree. I think that this is the sort of event, and he's the sort of candidate that you're gonna get a lot of this unity talk. And I think it's not objectively bad in all senses. If we believe that Donald Trump being president helped to drive people apart and increase extremism and those sorts of things, then I probably believe that the opposite of that in terms of the way you communicate could potentially help to simmer things down just a little bit, maybe. I would have preferred if there had been a bit more, not just about the challenges of which there was a little bit. He mentioned inequity, he mentioned the pandemic, but more specific plans, sort of we're unifying and here's where we're going to, rather than just we're unifying and here's a unity place we're going to. Like I would have preferred that, but I think it is what the event is about. We've just been through, the attack on the Capitol. If it represents that he seriously believes that he's going to be able to work with the Republicans a ton, really substantively, that they're not going to be battling him, then that's disappointing. But I hope that it's just him doing his duty, which is to unify us. But I just really hope that the sort of Obama first term period that Obama went through of really trying to reach out constantly, I hope that Biden's version of that is far shorter because we don't have time to waste.
Yeah, look, more good lines. He said this is this winter of our peril, and it really was. So give him credit for that. And he said, at least democracy did not die on our watch, and that is a thing to be celebrated. And as I saw Kamala Harris leaving there, as we're doing the analysis of the speeches, I thought she's leaving as vice president of the United States of America, and so democracy did not die on our watch. It's not just Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party that should be proud of that. It's all of us. It's the voters, it's the audience, it's the people that fought, it's the people that won. Democracy lives, and it is a great day in America. So let's not lose track of that either. Ida, your thoughts?
Okay, so first and foremost, I do want to give a shout out to Amanda Gorman, the young Black poet who's 22 years old, because she just did make history. And I know that we are so in division right now and in turmoil that, all of this stuff feels very secondary, because just a few weeks ago, we saw some of the most egregious acts against our democracy from our very own citizens in this country. I do want to say that I agree with you, Cenk. And unity is not possible if your beliefs are rooted in my oppression. And that is not going to go away in a couple of days because we hear some great words and prayers and people kumbayaing right now because there's a Black woman in office, when there are so many Black people and brown people who are dying right now from this pandemic. That doesn't go away on Inauguration Day. I think we hit 400,000. There are healthcare providers who don't have what they need so that they can provide the services for these people. Our healthcare system is broken. And I just want to remind you of these things because we get into these days and we have these celebrations and we have these hashtags and we celebrate all of this stuff. And there are so many Americans who are struggling right now. And just to say that, this racial stuff, which was horrible that we've been seeing, but it's always been here. And now the highlighter that's been scribbled over it to say how deep it is rooted into the American way. I want to know that now that we've highlighted it, what are we going to actually do about it? Because we know that white supremacist groups have infiltrated law enforcement and our military and have been removed because they have been a threat to this actual president and this new vice president. So no, we can't sit here and have this singing and this celebration. What we should be doing is paying tribute to those soldiers that are, many of them are Black and brown, who put their lives on the line for the safety of these people who forget them when it comes to policies and strategies later. Puerto Rican soldiers who don't get to vote for the president, occupying the White House to fight to save, to protect his life. And I think that we need to remember that when we have this, yes, we can celebrate democracy and we can celebrate freedom, but if not real freedom, if it's not true freedom for all Americans.
Yeah, 100% right. And so, look, sometimes talk of unity is an argument centered around privilege as well. Because again, it depends on what we're unifying around. And so my background is Muslim, and this country is not unified around love for Muslims. Nope. It just hasn't, okay? And so if you say to me, we're going to, then I love it. It's wonderful. Not because Muslims are any different or better than anyone, but precisely because of the opposite, which is that we're just the same as everybody else. We're all 100% American. And if we get treated that way, then that's fantastic. That's the true creed of America. And that's why my family moved here. And that's why we love this country, because that's what we're aspiring to, right? But let alone if you're Black, Latino, and on and on. The Chinese were the only country, China and ethnicity that were ever banned completely from America for some period of time. So if you're unifying around banning people, whether they're Chinese or Muslim, which pretty much this covers my whole family, then I say no. I have no interest in that unity for unity's sake. So but if you're unifying around, what it means to have true equality and justice, obviously that's what we're literally here for. That's what the point of the Young Turks is. And to hold people accountable to that. Biden said there, my whole soul is in this when he was talking about unity. And it's a nice line, but it's also what I'm worried about. If you're invested in unity for unity's sake, you will make compromises on policy just to get to unity. And that is something to really, really look out for if we're doing an honest analysis of what's to come in the next 4 years. I want to give some of the last word in the analysis here to you guys. Give you guys a couple of quotes from YouTube super chat here, and we appreciate all of you guys being part of this coverage and all of our coverage. If you hit the join button below the video while you're watching on YouTube, you become a Young Turk member, one of us, and help us put these shows together and fight for change for you all, okay? And we want a part of that fight today. And obviously we got a lot more to come on that front soon. And for folks watching anywhere else, obviously tyt.com/join. But Thomasina wrote in to really amplify the point that Aida was making. Down goes Trump, loving this podcast so much. Love 2020, so much love, she wrote in. 2020 was hard on me. My daughter was murdered. I buried her on March 1st, and 2 aunties and 2 brothers, all back to back. But I'm crying for happiness. So it has been a brutal year, 2020. So that family obviously went through incredible tragedy, but a lot of our families did. 400,000 people are dead from COVID. So now I'm hearing more and more people in my personal life who are saying, "Oh my God, my friend's dad died." Yeah. It's real, guys. It's been real from day one. That's why this propaganda is so maddening. It gets you to question reality. Well, I mean, we're having a debate about whether 2 + 2 = 4, and then it turns out 4 happened to my dad. No, 4 has always been real. 2 + 2 has always equaled 4. So 400,000 Americans, that's 0.1% of the country. That's not a good thing. That is a giant, massive number, a massive number of dead people. It really is the winter of our peril. And so thank God we're done with 2020. Thank God, at least at a bare minimum, the thing you can give the establishment is you might not agree with all their goals. And when you don't, their competence is problematic, right? But they are competent on the things that you agree with and the things you don't agree with. And so Joe Biden is very, very likely to bring competence back into the United States government. That means you're likely to get the vaccine sooner. That means we're likely to save a lot more lives. We at least have a president who cares. Trump didn't do anything about COVID after the election. As we were breaking record after record, 9/11 level casualties day after day after day. Trump almost never talked about it, did nothing about it. All he did was, it was a fraud, stolen election. Just the most vile, despicable person who's ever been in public office. The fact that he's gone today, I'm never gonna get over what a wonderful day it is on that alone. But last word is Martin Jorgensen. He says, it's done, OMG. Maybe I can sleep peacefully again. It's been a horrific 4 years. Please, America, don't scare us all like that again. Thank you, TYT, for your strong, honest work. Congrats from Denmark. So there's something wonderful today in Denmark because there's something wonderful for the whole world to celebrate today. Other than the loathsome, hateful right wing across the world who are united in their bigotry and hatred and fear of immigrants and everyone else that doesn't look like them, the rest of the world is celebrating because one of the most horrific leaders of our times has been defeated, humiliated, and driven from office. So on that alone, it's a great day in America and in the whole world.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.